I'm really sorry if my stomach lurches violently
It's okay.
on the show. It may make noises I can't explain.
You have gas?
No, I don't have gas. It's just I'm a little hungry, and my stomach has been digesting oddly.
Why don't you eat
lunch.
something before the podcast, like a burrito or a chili dog or something? Why don't you stuff your face with like a big old chili dog?
I
before we start?
I know that's the way that improvisers do things. I know that's the law of improv land. But I am not a fan.
It's to eat the most farty food possible and then get to work.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Lauren, that's not just improv land.
You're right. That's every land.
That's literally you just said. You told me at your work now.
Yeah, that's what they do. They did cater Chipotle one day, and
they do that in my office all the time.
And I thought,
anytime they ever cater food to the office, it's what's the fartiest, bloatiest, sweatiest, most diarrhea-inducing food that we could get.
Right,
and that's what makes us feel like we could get a lot of work done.
Well, I think it's actually to test you as an employee. It's whoever's bowels release first is on the firing chopping block.
Oh, whoever has the strongest resilience in their colon.
Yeah.
Whoever has the strongest sphincter sits on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
The CEO is just the man with the strongest sphincter in town.
Yeah, it's sphincter executive officer.
The idea is that you can eat you should just be able to chug X-Lax and then go, yeah, I don't have to go at all. And you're the CEO of a company.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it works. I truly believe that they do test. This is part of the test to see whether or not
are you a good employee?
Yeah, or are you going to stink up this office?
Good employees have good sphincters.
Good employees hold their farts in. Good employees never shit their pants.
Good employees one good employee has never shit his pants.
A good employee passes a colonoscopy cleanliness test with flying colors without even trying.
They literally, I got an email today. Chili Dog Day is Thursday.
Oh, good God.
I'm like, thank God I'm working remote. Chili Dog Day is Thursday. Bring your diapers.
That's pretty bad. That's like Sloppy Joe Day. That would be terrible.
Bring your diapers to work. Well, at my interview, they had me pull my pants down and show my sphincter, and they're like, yeah, I guess that's tight enough.
All right, we're here to measure your sphincter strength.
Yeah, we're here to see whether or not you shit your pants. Well, welcome to Working Crass Podcast, the only place where you can get the highest quality shit talk, the only place where you're promoted if you shit your pants. Lauren and I had to work for years to shit our pants in just the right way to get promoted to host. We started off as just production assistants.
Yeah.
And then they catered. I don't know, what's something horrible for you? What's the they catered the Chili's molten lava cake, but instead of ice cream, it was beans. We had to eat the whole thing.
Yeah, Chili's molten bean cake.
And we pooped and pooped and pooped, and they said, you know what? Around here at Working Crass Podcast, the biggest pooper gets the job.
Yep.
And we got the job.
Yep, we did. And
it pays nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing but beans.
Yeah. But you know,
I make 3 beans a day.
Yeah, you do.
3 beans a podcast.
Yeah.
And I collect my beans. And I want my beans.
And each of you listeners owe us 10 beans.
I want you to go out there. I want you to get me 10 Nazi beans. And I want my beans. Oh, man. Well, there's lots of things to talk about. I guess we completely missed the
Au revoir, Shitshana. Sorry.
Shitshana.
I'm sorry.
We had to throw in one more Inglorious Bastards
I couldn't
reference.
help myself.
No, we missed the debate. We missed, talking about the debate. Everyone's already talked about it. But I guess the only thing I have to add about the debate is I think that everybody can see now that Joe Scarborough was right in what we showed on on the podcast, that Biden is mega cogent. He's as cogent as ever. And I wonder what Joe Scarborough has to say after the debate. Probably I told you so, right?
I would
Mostly
assume,
I told you so.
Yeah, I would assume that's what he's going to say.
Well, I looked it up. He said, now's the perfect time for the Democrats to replace Joe Biden. Now, thank God the election isn't till November, so we have enough time to replace him. And I was like scratching my head. I was like, replace him? I thought he was super mega cogent.
Well, he is. He's too cogent for the job.
He did say he was beyond cogent. And
Right.
You know what? When I watched him, I did think, yeah, this isn't cogent. It's somewhere far beyond what cogent could be.
Yeah, no, he's too cogent for the job. It's just too powerful, and we can't have somebody of that nature representing us. We need people who are mediocre.
That's true. We need someone more mediocre than Biden.
Yeah.
We watched the debate together as a couple.
We did.
It was romantic.
We made love to it.
It made me horny.
It did. It did.
Those two old mans talking about their golf game.
Who doesn't get horny listening to that?
I go, get over here and stroke me, Lauren. Damn, this boy's talking about his golf game. Get over here and stroke me.
Like only if you carry your own bags. Your ball bags.
We got real intimate, and you got up in my ear and you whispered, "You're the loser. You're the sucker." And that's when I came. You're the loser. You're the sucker.
Yeah, I said, you're the loser, but I'll suck her.
But I'll suck her. Suck her, I hardly know her.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
It was.
It was quite a mess.
It was very messy.
But, was it surprising?
No.
It was literally, I turned it on going like, this is, I had a concept in my head of what it was going to be, and it was exactly that.
Although I will say
it's crazy how people are acting like, wow.
Yeah.
This is the state of our country. I didn't even know.
Mind blown.
Duh.
Duh, boss. Yeah. I will say I was surprised that Trump was a lot more subdued.
Yeah, he was. But they said that, they'd cut his mic off if he wasn't being asked the question. And it's like they all got a limited amount of time and everything, too. You could tell, like, he kept kind of opening his mouth to, like, do his, like, sassy little responses to things, but he wouldn't say it.
They had one of those like big gorilla hands or the cane next to the stage, so if he went over his
the long cane that pulls you off the stage, that's what I mean. That probably
someone had the gong ready.
Well, for Trump, it was on CNN. For Trump, they had just a guillotine that they were threatening to just push the button.
Yeah,
for Trump,
that's true.
You say one word out of step, we'll throw the guillotine in.
Yeah.
You say one word out of step and we'll charge you for another felony.
We'll cook one up.
We'll cook another one up. Trust us, we've been cooking them up nonstop since you were president.
Listen here, pal, we got a lot of recipes for felonies and they're mighty tasty.
And they only work about 1 out of 20 times, but we've gotten you for about 2 or 3 of them, so we'll keep on trying.
Yeah.
And we were going to keep trying anyway, but if you fuck up, we'll try harder.
Yep.
But I know it was no surprise to me how it went. It was no surprise to me that, both of them seem like they wouldn't be great leaders of the country. And you sit there and watching it going, we really don't have 2 other people like that represent, the people of this country even a little more than this. And it just goes to show that it's just a show.
Oh, yeah.
It's just wrestling.
Yes, 100%.
The president really means fucking nothing. Here's the thing. President Biden, you watch the debate. Mm-hmm. He can hardly speak. He can hardly read a teleprompter. When he does his speeches, he goes, end quote, because he's like reading the thing. Yeah. He's done it multiple times now.
Yeah, he's pulling Ron Burgundy's.
So whoever is writing the speeches for the medicine that makes him all hyped up for these events, whoever is telling him to go out there and then telling him come off the stage, those are the people that run the country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's pretty evident to everyone. It's very clear that he's not making decisions.
No.
He's signing off on the decisions because they hold his hand and help him sign his name.
Yeah, well, they pull the string that moves his hand in the correct way.
But they write the thing that he's signing. They write whatever new bill they want to fucking write.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people really are, after they watched that, they went, "What?
What?
That I don't know how you could watch that and not have seen 100 other things that told you that Biden was completely losing his mind. And I've said it multiple times, and 100 other people have said it. It kind of just makes me sad. It doesn't really. It's funny, but it just makes me sad. It just reminds me of my granddad with dementia. It's like, and it's just you can see him losing his mind. He seems like any other old man who is getting old and losing his mind, and he doesn't know where he is, and. He kind of looks around, and sometimes he kind of has a smile, but he's just lost and confused, and that's sad.
Yeah.
And people are just now going, wow, I think he looks a little lost and confused. It's like you weren't paying attention to who your president was for the last few years.
Yeah.
But we all learn things at different times,
these are the same people who are going to say, "Oh, you're telling me now that next thing you're going to tell me is the COVID vaccine doesn't work as good as they said it was supposed to."
I saw what? I saw someone. I think it was Leslie Jones, but don't quote me on that. But I'm going to quote her. Was like, I don't care how old. Biden is. I don't care if he dies and I'm voting for his dead body. I'm voting for him over Trump any day. And I wanted to be like, hey, I'm no fan of Trump, but I'm not voting for a dead body. Come on, get serious. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
If he dies, I will vote for his corpse. What take is that? That's wild.
It is. It is.
That makes no sense to me.
Did you see the clip of Jill Biden
yes,
after the debate?
Yes. You answered all the questions, Joe. Good boy. We're going to go out for ice cream after this. And he said, huh? When?
Where am I? Who are you?
Who's this lady? Someone, please.
Help me.
That reminds me, that voice reminds my brother left me this voicemail.
Yeah.
When I guess I missed his call, and he just leaves me this voicemail out of nowhere that made me laugh so hard. Here we go.
Complex.
Sorry, hold on. Here we go. This will sound much better than when it's actually out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on. Sorry, folks. I thought this would be easy. I thought playing a voicemail from my phone would be something simple.
From your phone?
Yes, this is Edgar. I'm outside of your apartment complex, and I'm supposed to deliver a pizza. It's got mushrooms and spinach. That's kind of weird. But I need your gate code because I can't get in to deliver your pizza, dude. Yeah, it's something you probably should have looked into before you place the order. Yeah. So, give me the code.
That was just like getting a voicemail from Biden himself. That sounded like Biden at the debates.
Yeah, well, that will be his next career move, I think.
I'm trying to deliver a pizza. Well, like I said, people watched that and they ended up saying, wow, I didn't know that Biden had dementia, even though everybody's been saying it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think that, people are just late bloomers. Some people learn things late in life, and that's okay. I don't want to judge anyone for learning something late in life. You're going to learn later in life that you're a lesbian. You're going to leave me and start dating women. It's just that we all learn things late in life, okay? And I have this video here of this girl who posted a TikTok who is learning another lesson very late in life that, we've learned, and maybe a lot of, but I want to share it because maybe some of our listeners haven't learned this yet. And so it's good to hear.
I sense a theme for the show today.
It's a whole episode of what I learned. What I learned today was, all right, here we go. Let's see if we can get this playing here. Let's full screen it.
Okay. My dad just called me and said that I owe $480 for my tax return because apparently if I just had $10 more taken out of my week, then I wouldn't owe anything at all. And I said, what? What? I owe money for working? I owe money for working because, yeah. And also, Dad, that sounds like a scam. You are telling me that if only $10 more every week came out, then I wouldn't owe the $480? How was I supposed to know that? First of all, how am I supposed to know that? Second of all, how do I control that? And why is that a thing? How do you tell your employer, oh, take $10 more out of my paycheck every week so that I don't owe money when my tax return is done? What? This is strange. This is strange.
What?
Now we're gonna ignore the autism, but what? Now, what she's learning, obviously, is something that we all know, and that is taxation is theft.
Yeah. Yeah,
she's learning for the first time that, taxes aren't just, a nice thing that the government does to help us pay for essential, needs or essential goods and services that the government provides for the people. Taxation is theft.
Yeah. No, it starts here, but next thing she's going to be reading Murray Rothbard's Anatomy of the State.
Correct. 100%. That is the case. And that's good. We want people to start reading Murray Rothbard's Anatomy of the State so they could learn that the government is the only organization that makes money off of force and not off of exchange of goods and services.
Exactly. The government is a criminal enterprise that can't fund its own activity, so it has to steal from you.
That's correct. What?
What?
But I worked for that money. Yes, the government reaches in and takes it from you. Mm-hmm. But how is I supposed to know that they're going to take, an extra $10 a month every month? You don't. Sometimes the government spends too much and they retroactively in the tax season take more from you than they did originally. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. You give money to taxes every single month, and then around tax season, sometimes they go, hey, we took a little too much. We'll give it back to you. And sometimes they go, hey, we didn't take enough. We spent a lot. Give us some more. That's how taxes work.
Yeah.
And that's how your government works. And so the next time when you think that, the government is this essential thing that we all need, that we all pay into a little bit because it helps people, you should remember that money goes maybe 10% to helping people and about 90% to
Ukraine.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Every time I'm in the office, when I'm working, I know that my money's going to a good cause to the government. When I staple a piece of paper, I imagine the sound of a machine gun going off and shooting a Russian in the face, Yeah. That's what my money's going to, right?
Every time I complete an assignment at work, I write the name of a Middle Eastern country that I think is
going to get carpet bombed.
Yeah, I write that on the top of the paper and just remind myself this is what it's for.
That is what it's for. sure. When you go to work and you look at your pay stub and you look at the tax portion of it, just remember that's you working you're giving up your time, your precious time. By the way, time is everything, okay? You give up your time to an employer, they find that so valuable they give you money for that. And then you give that money, or you don't really let's say you do give that money to the government,
but you don't have a choice.
You don't really have a choice. Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean to say you voluntarily give your money to the government. The government reaches in and takes that money from you, and then they use it to purchase guns and bombs and weapons for other countries to kill each other, so that then we can gain resources and power all over the world.
Yeah, and then the government comes back to you and they grab you by your ankles and hold you upside down and shake you out to all the last cents fall right out of your pockets, and they take that too.
Absolutely. But Lauren, the government, the money that goes to the government, they use that to provide us with services like the DMV. You know how efficient and well-funded the DMV is? Or schools. You know how efficient and well-funded our public schools are?
Yeah. Or, gender reassignment surgery for Pakistani children.
That's true. And maybe that's why you go to work every day, to get those Pakistanis a new pussy. That's why I get up in the morning. That's the thing that gets me up, is to buy a Pakistani a pussy.
Now all I'm thinking about is those commercials that are like, for the price of a cup of coffee, you
can get a Pakistani a new pussy.
Yeah.
In the arms of an angel. And it's just a bunch of crying Pakistani men with makeup.
Yeah.
And their mascara's running down their face.
So many Pakistanis are left without pussies.
Without beautiful pussies under their skirts. Yeah.
But for 3 cents a day, the price of a cup of coffee. Although that's not the price of a cup of coffee.
No, not at all.
I don't think it ever was 3 cents.
Maybe one day it was 3 cents, but I mean, if you factor, if we're talking Starbucks prices, $6.50 a day. I'd say $6.50 is probably the price of a cup of coffee, depending on what kind of coffee you're getting.
But if I'm in the Pakistani pussy business, I might charge intelligentsia coffee prices, like $12.50.
I work in the Pakistani pussy business. I work in the pussy business. I build the pussy. Here at Raytheon, we build the highest tech pussies. We build pussies that will carpet bomb weddings.
This is a bulletproof pussy.
This is a bulletproof missile launching pussy. But no, I mean, it would be an ideal world. I mean, it sounds nice, a government that everyone equally pays into. And, those who make a little more money pay a little more. Those who make less pay a little less. But then all of that money goes to services that we all use to make our lives, to enrich our lives and make them better, and to, keep a standard of living that, we all can, aspire to. That's just not what happens. No. It's just not what happens. And
you can't expect criminals to spend your money wisely. That's a motto that my family taught me, and I live by it.
But that's the thing, is they start as just people, right? And then they get into government and they become criminals because they have power over people. You have to remember that they're in government, which means that they
joined the mob.
Exactly. They sought out power over other people. There's no good person out there. This is the same thing where people are like, oh, these two are the best we can get for presidential candidates. Well, you have to remember that for a person to want to become president, they have to be a person who has an interest in exercising power over people. And those aren't good people. There's no good people signing up for the job of exercising power over other people.
I won't say there's no good people. I
will.
There's very
I'll
few.
say it. I'm saying it now. There's zero.
I'll say there's very few.
Good people typically don't like exercising power over people and would like to find a job where they can provide a service to other people. And if they want to provide a service to other people, government isn't the way to do it. But I don't know. It's sad. It's just sad to see this girl, learn the reality of government right there in her bedroom. She got a little cross on her chest. She's a good Christian girl, and she's just now figuring out. What?
I say this makes me happy because this is somebody who's a future libertarian.
Right, no, definitely.
And that kind of excites me.
Me too. Gets me a little titillated.
Yeah.
Here in a few minutes, you might be whispering in my ear, "You're the loser. You're the sucker." Get me all aroused.
Now, is she dressing like a Starbucks barista on purpose?
I don't know.
Or is that her job?
I don't know. Good question. That's a good question.
I just don't know if that's like her, style.
Maybe she's quirky, I mean, I'm trying to figure out if her hair is a style choice or if that's part of a job, too.
I was thinking the hair was kind of reminiscent of, like, portraits from the 1800s of, like, Civil War ladies.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And they do, like, those weird ringlets on the side.
No, what the fuck are you talking about? She has two awful buns, messy buns, on either side of her head.
All right, well... Some of us are gifted with visions of grandeur.
Oh, man. But let's talk more about government. So, like... But in the real world, in the ideal world, it's like, think about anybody else who you give money to, right? You give money, like the market, the free market works like this. You have some kind of good or service to provide to someone, and they give you money for you to exchange those goods or that service to them, right? Mm-hmm. Everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. The government you give money to, because if you don't...
they'll break your fucking kneecaps.
Exactly. It's literally a mafia. There's no difference between that and a mafia. And they say, the government is just the people, right? A government of the people, for the people, by the people. But the people are retarded. As the guru says.
But the people eat the poo-poo.
But it's like that's not the people. That's not you being represented by people, because that is a mafia group telling you give us money so that we can sustain our own
interests.
Our own interests. And if you don't, you go to jail. And if you refuse to go to jail, we'll use violence to throw you in jail. And what do we call any group that uses violence as a threat to make money? A mafia or a mob. Anyway, this is the last episode of Working Crass Podcast.
And when the people get mad about what's being done to them and start to kind of push back, mm-hmm. and opt and choose people that they feel are speaking to those injustices that have been done upon them, then all these media elite, corporate elite people in the media, mm-hmm. instead of blaming the criminal government enterprise, they blame the people.
Right, of course.
And go, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. You should like being taken advantage of and stolen from. You should like it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, any type of independent person who wants to challenge the establishment is always shot down.
How dare you for not liking the slop we're feeding you pigs?
Well, it's like, and I don't want to say that RFK Jr. is like entirely anti-establishment, because he's a Kennedy, and the Kennedys are a big part of this pretty establishment, right? Yeah. But a lot of his positions are relatively anti-establishment positions, and therefore the government a mob, remember, has to use their media apparatus, which they have. They have control over what the corporate media can put out there to dismiss anything that he says. It's the same thing as COVID. When we went through all of COVID, they made the decision that we're going to shut everything down. And at first, it was just to shut things down.
Slow the spread. 2 weeks, slow the spread.
Yep, 15 days to slow the spread or whatever it was. So that way the hospitals weren't
inundated.
Exactly.
Yep.
And we were looking at death rates, right? We were saying, hey, the death rates are high. And then it was like 15 more days. Now we're going to do another month. Now, you know what? We probably need to do a year. And at that point, we were going, oh, yeah, so that the death rates go down. They go, no. So the cases go down. Because the cases are up. And that's why we need to lock back down. I was like, oh, wait, what about the death rates? Oh, the death rates, they're way down. But the cases are up, so we need to stay locked down. They made a hasty decision that was a bad decision, and they had to keep protecting their interests. And, of course, you could also argue that maybe they wanted to do this because it was at the end of Trump's presidency, and they really wanted him out of there. So, therefore, they wanted to keep everyone locked down so we could do mail-in ballots and find a way to get somebody else in. That's just, I don't have evidence of that part. But
this is the last episode of Working Crass.
This is 100% the last episode of Working Crass.
We probably will,
But hey, let me say this: it might be the last episode of Working Crass podcast, but it's the most interesting. and hey, for those of you who didn't know all of these things already, it's okay to learn things late in life. It's okay. Anyway, I learned something late in life when I saw this post here. This person says, I twerk around my kids all the fucking time. Y'all weird as fuck sexualizing it. That shit cultural. Our mamas was twerking. Our grandmamas was twerking. Kids get together and was twerking at the family picnic. Y'all weird and anti-black, just say that. And funny looking.
Turns out this was something that Biden said.
I twerk around my kids all the fucking time. Hey, it's not sexual. It's cultural. I found this. James Lindsay posted this, so of course I found it. But I just thought this was funny because this person was replying to someone. So this person must have twerked around some kids, gotten in trouble for it. People are like, hey, there's kids around. Why are you doing that? And they had to be in defense. I twerk around my kids all the fucking time.
This just boils down to, I twerk where I want.
I twerk wherever the hell I want. There's nothing sexual about it. It's cultural.
Yeah, slut culture.
I be sucking and fucking my kids all the time. It's nothing sexual. There's nothing sexual about sucking and fucking your kids. That shit cultural. They got balls, don't they? My kids' balls need a draining. It ain't sexual, it's cultural. Kids was sucking and fucking at the family picnic. It ain't sexual to suck and... Guys, answer this in the comments. Is it sexual to suck and fuck your kids? Because I say y'all weird as fuck for sexualizing it. That shit cultural.
This is going to be this girl's next TikTok revelation.
What? That it turns out that twerking was sexual the whole time?
Yeah. She's going to go, what?
I was talking to my dad on the phone and he said that shaking your ass around in tight shorts is sexual. I don't know. Maybe I guess some women might not see that it's sexual because you don't see the boners that everyone gets when you twerk. I do sometimes think that there's a lot of these arguments about what's sexual and what's not, and it's almost always women against men in these arguments. I'm not saying all women against all men. It's just these arguments typically come from women saying, well, this isn't sexual, and men going like, well, it gives me a boner, so yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the old argument of like the dad telling the daughter, like, you can't wear that out. That's too revealing. And she goes, but I like the way I look in it. It's not revealing. It's not sexual. There's nothing sexual about me wearing this revealing clothing. And the dad going, well, I was a boy at your age, and every woman who wore that, I got a boner over and went home and jacked off to. So yes, it's sexual. It's sexual to me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's very weird. I think it's the difference between men and women. I think women can see something that a man sees as very sexual and see it as not sexual at all. But they don't understand that men understand other men, and they know that even though I might not be seeing this as sexual right now, maybe I'm talking to like my daughter, right? And I don't have a daughter right now, but if that was the case, I'm talking to my daughter. She wears something that makes me feel uncomfortable. It's not that I find her sexual. It's that I remember when I was a child and other girls wore that type of thing, and me and every guy around me thought that that was hot or sexual in some way, and immediately sexually connotated it. Is that a right word? Is that the right word? Sure, whatever.
Now, is showering with your 14-year-old daughter, is that sexual?
That shit cultural. I be taking baths with my prepubescent son all the time.
Because that's what Biden was accused of, or at least it's in the Ashley Biden's diaries.
That's right.
Diary.
Diarrhea. And
it's in her diarrhea. She spelled it out in her diarrhea.
But didn't she say in it, or wasn't there something about like she was she didn't like showering with him? She wished it would stop.
Yes,
there was like some kind of I think she thought it was sexual
because it is.
Exactly. Kids get together and shower at the family picnic. Y'all weird and anti-black. Just say that.
Y'all anti-Biden
and funny looking. That's my favorite. That's the part we didn't even talk about. This person ends it with. I like twerking around kids. I don't care. It ain't sexual. It's cultural. Y'all are weird for sexualizing it. And guess what? You're funny looking too.
That is a great way to end an argument.
Yep.
It's very funny.
Oh, and my other favorite part about this. Oh, no, never mind. I looked at the profile picture. At first glance, I thought it was a white woman saying this, which would be hilarious. Y'all anti-black. I be twerking around my kids all the time. It's just like a white blonde girl. No, it seems like it is a black girl.
Now, what did James Lindsay say about this? Is this part of the cultural revolution that we're going through?
No, he just put #parenting, #delusional.
Well, I believe that twerking, much like protests, is really just the voice of the unheard.
Maybe this is something that I'm just not aware of who this person is, because some of these comments seem like they've seen the thing. So maybe there was some viral video of somebody twerking in front of kids or something. I don't know. Pride was recently, and I saw a video of this Pride parade where they had just a straight up stripper, like an actual stripper, take off her top. She had pasties on, shaking her tits, getting dollars and everything. There's just a bunch of kids around.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, this isn't sexual.
No, not
at what point does it become sexual? If you have a stripper on a stage, they take off their top, their bare tits are showing, they shake them, push them together, and go, "Fuck me, boys." You know what I'm saying?
That doesn't mean anything.
At what point does it turn sexual? Ugh. I be sucking and fucking my kids all the time.
Oh my God.
That shit cultural.
We're never going to get monetized. I'm just going to tell you now.
Our mamas was sucking and fucking. Our grandmamas was sucking and fucking. Kids get together and suck and fuck at the family picnic. You funny looking ass bitch. Oh my God. Anyway. Well, there's another thing that I've learned late in life. What?
What were you going to say?
I don't know. You started interrupting me for some reason.
I felt like I had something and then I lost it.
You pulled a bind. Yeah,
for a second I forgot where I was in space and time. I definitely had a Biden moment.
Since the debate, he said a couple other funny things too. He said, I'm proud to be the first vice president black woman. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And then what else did he say? He said, make one thing, I'll make one thing very clear. I'm not dropping out of the race. I will beat Trump in 2020.
Which, when you have to do one of those tests to figure out if you have like mental decline,
You have to say what year it is. You have to know what year it is.
that's like the one thing he failed.
That's the first question. What year is it? Who's the president?
Who are you?
Yeah.
Where are you?
They do ask who the like when you're getting like you bonk your head or whatever. They're like, all right, how old are you? What year is it? Who's the president right now?
Yeah.
And he has to go, I think it's me.
And it's 2020.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt. No, something else I guess I'm learning late in life is that there's this new documentary out, and they're going over something that's brand new that I've never heard about. So let's check out this trailer for this new documentary.
Comparisons to Lenny Bruce, comparisons to Bob Dylan, comparisons to being a sort of philosopher king. Jesus.
When I said I wanted to work with Louis C.K., I should have been more specific as opposed to like how it all panned out.
These stories have been around for...
By the way, I watched this. What do you think this is? And be honest, don't make a joke.
I'm assuming this is a documentary about Louis C.K.'s Me Too
Yes, correct.
situation.
That's correct. And somebody pointed, I saw somebody on another podcast talking about this, but apparently this fourth wall open mic is like the worst beginner level open mic in LA. It's like the absolute worst. Every time you go, it's like people starting for the first time ever.
Oh boy.
But of course, that's who they're going to get to talk shit about Louis C.K. now is like, and to...
Is unfunny comedians.
Absolutely. The only people who go after other comedians are other completely unfunny comedians who are jealous and think, and I've been saying this for years, since we moved from Dallas, that for some reason they have this idea in their head that successful comedians are a tree, and if you just knock that tree over, you can take the exact same position as that tree and be just as big as that person was. But what you don't understand is it's a tree. Once you knock it over, you have to start from a seed again, and maybe you'll grow that tall or maybe you won't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That you actually, that's why you don't just get to knock someone out and take their position. It's not a piece of the pie that you're now getting, right? You actually have to build your own career, and that's the kind of the beauty of stand-up comedy is that it's an independent job, right?
Yep.
It's not like a staff writer on some show where the position opens up again. It's an independent art form. They built it from the ground up, and if you knock them over, you don't just get to take that. You actually have to be as funny as them if you want to take that over.
Yeah.
And knocking them over doesn't do you any good. And as a matter of fact, in my opinion, it makes you less likely to succeed because you're not working on being funny, or you're just working on knocking other people down.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's keep going here.
It all panned out.
These stories have been around for a while, and everybody kind of casually knows, really. This jerking off comedian is obviously just Louis C.K.
He basically said something along the lines of, what? Like, I like to jerk off in front of people.
He was talking about what turns them on.
Most female comedians quit because it's just a series of indignities that they have to suffer their entire life.
Because you've been socialized in this world where men get to treat women however they want.
Okay, and I just have to ask, what the fuck is she talking about? Do you feel like you've been socialized in a world where men get to do whatever they want to you?
No. I don't feel that way.
I feel like I've been socialized into a world where we need to believe every woman and everything she says, or else you're a demon.
Yeah. No, I don't believe that way.
Or else you're a misogynist and you need to go away forever.
Yeah.
I guess I should say that I'm just not one of those people who thinks that Louis C.K. is a horrible person for masturbating in front of women. And I'd like to fully come clean here. I have masturbated in front of women with their permission. And I'm sorry, but, I'll try to do better. I don't know. I don't know what I should do next time. I don't know.
Well,
that shit cultural.
Yeah.
That shit ain't even sexual. That shit cultural. Kids be jerking off in front of women at the family picnic. Y'all just ugly. Y'all just funny looking.
Yeah.
I just don't, I'm sorry. I just don't see the issue with asking permission to masturbate, receiving the permission, and then proceeding to masturbate. Do you?
Asking permission to masturbate and then proceeding to masturbate.
Once you've gotten permission.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. However, they will argue that he held a position of power, so therefore they felt like a sense of coercion into agreeing.
Oh, I didn't realize that these women were his employees. Were they?
No, but...
okay. Well, I thought, well, then that kind of throws the position of power out of whack, doesn't it? I'm sorry. It's
well, their deluded belief is that because it has an influential position within the sphere of comedy, he could have some control over the trajectory of their comedy careers. He could put a good name in for them, or vice versa, blackball them.
Oh, well, in that case, then he could never, ever date a comedian, right? Under that rule, then he could never date or potentially marry. Comedians should never actually have any kind of sexual relationship ever, right? Because then they're in the same field and it's a conflict of interest. And, if you break up, one person could blackball the other person within that industry. Am I wrong?
Am I supposed to answer as them or as me? Because I'm very confused, and my
as
brain
you
is
fucking
trying to split between.
Yes, I know. Your favorite thing to do is to take the position that you disagree with. I need you to tell me what you think about this.
Well, I have to steel man the opposition before we straw man it.
No, you don't. You don't have to confuse the whole audience. Let the trailer of the documentary represent their position, and you can represent your position. How about that?
I do what I want, Josh. I twerk where I want. I do what I want.
That shit cultural. No, I'm just I think doctors can hook up with doctors. I think lawyers can hook up with lawyers. I think the majority, there's this book on dating that I read, that the majority of married people up to a certain year that were people that met in the workplace. That's the number one place where people met to get married. I mean, of course, now it's probably dating apps and some stupid shit, but it's before dating apps and social media, that was how people met, was either through your work or because you lived near each other in the same apartment building,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I think that people should not date within their same occupation. I think that's stupid. And I think that comedy and stand-up comedy, the whole thing about it is that it's an independent field. It's you build your own opportunities. And so, and here's another thing. And I don't know, maybe this isn't that popular or whatever, but if there is someone out there that wants to jerk off and then give you an opportunity and you're willing to be jerked off in front of to get an opportunity, then who's to say you're not allowed to do that, right? I either build your own opportunities or whore yourself into new opportunities, but don't knock other people down because they have a kink and they asked you permission and you could have said no. The whole argument against Louis C.K. completely takes away any what's the word for women when they can do whatever they want and say agency. That's what I'm looking for. Any agency.
It's such a foreign concept. You don't even know the word.
It really is. I'm learning about it right now. It completely ignores the fact that women have the agency to say yes or no if they're not interested in something. Mm-hmm. And the truth is that Louis C.K. wasn't the CEO of the company that they worked for or anything. He's just another comedian. Yes, he's a more successful comedian, but there's no evidence that shows that if you were to say no to him jerking off, that he was going to blackball you from the industry. Mm-hmm. There's absolutely no evidence for that. Mm-hmm. He just thought she was an attractive woman, wanted to jerk off, and I'm sorry, I've been watching Louis C.K. for years. That's kind of his whole honest thing about his comedy is he's always been very honest about the fact that he's a bit of a sexual deviant and he likes fucked up sex and he likes to jerk off and like that's something that he likes.
Yeah.
There's that whole thing where he's on like the fake Fox News show and defending why masturbation isn't that weird to him.
Yeah.
It's like that's just what he likes to masturbate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of all of the things, and people loop him in with like Weinstein, right? That was his name? Yeah. Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he's expected to have the same punishment as Harvey Weinstein, who did blackball people who didn't fuck him, and actually like locked doors behind these women and all kinds of fucked up shit. All of those stories are actually fucked up, and I agree that person shouldn't be allowed to work in that industry anymore because he made people feel unsafe. But I don't know. Everything I've heard from the Louis C.K. thing is that he asked permission, he got permission, and then he jerked off.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Am I missing something? You have a tone of like, wow, my husband's a real asshole right now.
I do?
Yes.
I didn't think I did.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have a tone of somebody watching this is going to be like, wow, we really need to save her from this asshole husband. Someone call the police.
Well, I can assure you that I was not intending to have that tone. It just
and then I brought it up,
happened.
and you had the fakest laugh I've ever heard. I go, are you sure you don't want someone to call the police? And you went, no one should call the police.
I feel like you're overanalyzing every movement.
No one should call the police. Please call the police.
I think you're overanalyzing my reactions here.
All right, well, let's overanalyze this trailer instead of your reactions.
If he's done this stuff and he's denied it, we just thought, well, let's see how much of a story there is there.
We got the sense that there were going to be other women. They were told to keep quiet.
People are scared. They want to be on his side for work.
He didn't use the word sorry, but he wrote a whole essay explaining that he knew he did something wrong.
All right, then case closed.
Then, yeah,
Case closed. He's apologized for it, and
he didn't use the word sorry. He didn't.
He didn't. Jesus Christ, Christopher.
Caught. The man got caught.
I was like, well, the fact that I thought it wasn't my problem is the problem.
Oh my God. Asks why women are punished for simply saying what happened to them. These women were punished? I don't remember them being punished.
Well, they're getting a documentary.
Exactly. They got all the attention in the world, and Louis had to go away for a while and lose all of everything that he had going on, and then build his career from scratch on his own without the help of any kind of corporation or media.
Well, Joshua, having to be part of this documentary is a punishment.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, having to come back and do this lame ass documentary that no one is going to watch is a punishment. You're right. And of course, they got the
that I thought it wasn't my problem is the problem. Like, that's exactly the problem.
Louis did.
That's sad to watch the guy that made The Office and Parks and Rec sit there and go, I thought that this wasn't my problem, but actually this is my problem. Isn't that retarded?
Well, he was referring to the documentary.
It's just so stupid. All of this, everything that they say are these vague platitudes that don't mean anything.
Right. I just want to know, do all documentaries, and in particular documentary trailers, have to use the same music?
The same violin,
Yeah. It's the serious investigation violins.
Yes.
I find it very annoying that they all use the same music, which to me just feels like they're being cranked out of a mass production factory line. And so
I just
they kind of
don't
lose
none
their
of this
appeal.
none of this means anything. All of this, like, it's so hard to be a female comedian. Female comedians have had to put up with all of this shit for so long. We went to an all-female stand-up show. They got to stand up there and not do comedy and get applause for it for a long time, and it was a packed crowd. We've done shows that don't sell any fucking tickets. These all-female comedy shows sell a bunch of tickets just because they're women. Then they have the gall to get up there and not be funny, and then expect to be celebrated for it, and are celebrated for it.
And they get to call it comedy. Yeah.
That's the best. You have the best of all worlds. You get the best of both worlds. Miley Cyrus said it herself.
This is serious, Joshua.
If you're a female comedian, you get every opportunity. I'm sorry. Lauren, you could go up there.
No, I don't. I don't get to be Louis C.K.
Because he's funnier than you. Because he built that. Louis C.K. has been doing comedy for 10 times longer than all of these women.
So?
Every woman on this thing, he's been doing it for so much longer. And he failed and failed and failed and was just as shitty as them for a long time until he figured out what his thing was and then started to get better and better and better. And that's how you build a career in comedy.
Nuh-uh.
Here's how you build a career.
You have a penis. You just have to have a penis.
You just have to have a penis.
You just have to have a penis, and you pull out your big penis and you come in front of somebody's face, and then you get famous.
Here's how you get famous. You go on stage and you're not funny for years until you get to be in a documentary. And then when you're in the documentary, you cry about how unfunny you are. That's how you get famous.
And did I mention you have to have a penis?
And then you get punished.
Did what? What is I don't know.
How do we deal with this? How do we welcome people back or not welcome people back?
Usually, white men get away with the stuff that they do.
Oh my God!
Can I say, I can't tell if Michael Ian Black is being sarcastic or not.
No, he's serious. He's very lefty. He's always on all of this shit.
But maybe he's being sarcastic.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm going to believe in my heart that it's sarcasm. And he's doing it ironically.
All I'm hearing are platitudes that mean fucking nothing. Am I using the right word?
Sure.
Yeah. These are just vague statements that mean fucking nothing. White men get away with this all the time. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? In this specific Louis C.K. instance.
Well, you have to bring in race, Josh. Whenever you do.
No, you actually don't.
No, you don't understand.
You actually, Lauren, you don't. You don't have to do that.
Actually, Joshua, let me just tell you about the finer points of documentary making. Rule number 1, you have to bring in race.
You actually don't.
It doesn't even matter if you're talking about human people. It could be a documentary about ants. It could be a documentary about plants, but you bring in race.
That shit cultural. I know Louis C.K. weren't twerking in front of children. You know what? Let me just say this. A comedian jerking off in front of other comedians, y'all the ones sexualizing it. That ain't sexual. That's just cultural. That just cancel cultural. Y'all just don't like black people. You think Louis C.K. did something wrong? You just don't like black people.
Yeah, I'm going to say this documentary, very anti-black.
He's coming back, right?
Fascinating. I guarantee it's not.
Oh, so they're mad that he's kind of come back after the Me Too scandal.
And just to be clear, because this argument keeps getting made all over the place, is that Louis never went away. Now he's selling out arenas. Okay, before, Louis was making movies with huge corporate movie studios. Then the Me Too stuff happened. He lost all of that. He had to build from only his fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, he's more talented than all of these women. So therefore, he was able to pull from his fan base and create a career on his own without the help of corporations. That's what happened. He lost the ability to be able to make money through corporations.
But that's not what should have happened. He
What
should have died.
happened? No, and this is the argument exactly. Well, kind of. That's kind of their argument. Is that everyone in the country should have behaved the way I want them to behave, right? Mm-hmm. The consumers should do what I want them to do. And in this situation, the consumers didn't do what I wanted them to do. The consumers weren't activist enough.
We didn't exile him to the gulags of Siberia.
This is a documentary about shaming the consumer, about saying you spent your money wrong. Don't go see that bad man.
How dare you like what you like and not what I want you to like?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Because what you like is naughty.
And let's just be clear: when I pay money for tickets to go see Louis C.K., I'm not going to see him because he did or did not jerk off in front of women. I'm going to see him because at the show he'll be doing this thing called stand-up comedy that he actually is really good at, and I enjoy listening to his stand-up comedy.
Yeah, and Josh,
it ends there.
And at the show, Josh will be the one jerking off in front of everybody.
I jerk off in front of at the shows. I jerk off at the shows.
He started to do more touring, and they started to sell out.
Everybody lives with a certain amount of hypocrisy, and this is the amount that I've allocated for myself.
Making fun of the victims is still good for business.
Interesting. He made fun of the victims. Do you remember? I've seen every special he's done since then, and we've also seen him on tour between those specials. Let me ask you, do you remember one joke where he made fun of the victims?
No, I don't remember that, but I think it's always good to learn what's funny from comedy journalists.
It's not.
They've got their finger on the pulse. I know they do.
They're allowed to just full on lie now.
Yeah.
To say he's making fun of the victims.
Yeah,
he literally did not make fun of any victim ever in any of his sets.
That's the American way, baby. That's how we do it. We lie.
No, what this is in the documentary, they talk about how when he came back and he had that leaked set and he had jokes about the Parkland shooting, and he made fun of the victims of the Parkland shooting. But they've neatly edited in this part where they're talking about the sexual misconduct and said he made fun of the victims. So the people that don't listen to Louis C.K. go, oh, his new set is all about him making fun of the victims of the sexual assault? Isn't that nice? That's how journalism works, folks.
I gotta say, kind of smart.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Journalists aren't stupid. They're really good at crafting a narrative. Oh, this makes me so mad, Lauren. I'm sorry.
And feel like they're crazy because everyone's letting all these predators back.
Not only did he get away with it, he's like rubbing it in all of our faces.
Louis had a whole bit about how the greatest threat to women is men. Louis could still do that bit and say, and I was one of those guys.
Good. I'm glad we added that bit on at the end. That was really good. That was good food for thought.
Truly garbage. Top comment. Critics are calling this everything from shit to fucking shit. Laughing my ass off at the dramatic cello.
See, I'm glad somebody else pointed out the investigation journalism strings.
Oh, this is hilarious. You actually have to pay to watch it. Who would pay money to watch this? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well.
This person, I wish Louis C.K. would take back his apology. It's just ridiculous.
But that kind of, that restored my faith a little bit.
In what?
The comments.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, the comments were pretty good, but...
Not the documentary. The documentary...
I was about to say, restored your faith in the victims? And just to be clear, Louis C.K. never, ever made fun of the victims. That's what we're doing. I'm just joking. I'm just joking because there actually were no victims. There's no such thing as a victim of consensual sexual acts.
Of consensual masturbation.
Exactly. Yeah, I shouldn't even say sexual acts. It's just masturbation. That ain't sexual. That shit cultural. All right. Well, let's see here. We've been going for a little while here. So I say we wrap it up with one more story here.
We're going to hit it then quit it?
We're going to hit it then quit it. And folks, if this one makes it to YouTube and doesn't get taken down, thanks for listening. We appreciate you.
If we don't get Clinton after this episode,
yeah.
We love you, and
this is a great episode. I actually hope that, a lot of people that follow this and, may not agree with this. So, watch this episode and, get to see what our opinions are on government and Louis C.K. and Me Too and the black community and picnics and what is sexual and what isn't and the relationship between men and women and,
I have a feeling.
I have a feeling they're going to like it a lot.
Yeah. They're going to say, I'm gonna like it here.
I think I'm gonna like it here.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's been a hot episode.
Yeah.
But if you are listening now, thank you very much, or watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell.
Hit the like button.
Hit the like button, hit the comment button, and leave us a nasty comment, a mean, nasty comment for us to cry about later.
Or, just post a little fart cloud.
Yeah.
Like, put a little fart cloud emoji on there.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's what we should start telling them from now on. If they can't think of anything else to write in the comments, post poo-poos and farts.
Sure, totally.
In emojis or GIFs.
Sure. Well, one of the things they say about promoting your content on YouTube or whatever is to give them one actionable item to do. And we've given them about 5 or 6 now, so that pretty much guarantees they won't do anything at all.
Well, look, my motto to building...
Hey, do one of those 5 or 6 things that we've listed off for you.
My motto to building an audience is to overload them, overwhelm them, make them feel confused at all times. To me, that's the best way to generate growth in your audience.
I agree. That being said, I do want to let you guys know we haven't picked a date yet, but we will be soon. Our 100th episode will be a live streamed episode to celebrate 100 episodes.
We'll do it nude.
We will not. And so that'll be a fun one. We'll try to do a fun live stream, kind of like we did for the Patreon release, where we have a bunch of planned bits and kind of sketch stuff and surprises and fun stuff. So
mostly nudity.
Be on the lookout for that. Follow us on Instagram at Working Crass Pod. We should have some clips coming your way soon and all that good stuff. And so, yeah. Cool. So moving on here. You know what? I'll say one more thing here. If you want to see some live comedy and you're in Chicago, I will be at the Lincoln Lodge on Saturday, July 20th at 7:30 p.m. That's in Chicago, Illinois. I'll be doing the Dr. Fix Me show. So come check me out there. It'll be fun. And if you want to see Lauren, she'll be jerking off without permission in the back.
Yes. Because I jerk where I want.
I jerk where I want. That shit cultural. Hey there, Crass Wipes. I just want to take a quick moment to tell you about the best way to support Lauren and I and all of Working Crass Podcast, and that is patreon.com/workingcrasspod. We are making some super funny bonus episodes every single week, putting them out there on Patreon. If you want to check them out, go ahead there, patreon.com/workingcrasspod. We would really appreciate the support. It would really, really help us out. If you're not convinced yet, here's a quick clip of one of our latest episodes. Lauren said she'll do something special if we can get all of our patron members to up their tier 1 level and then get 2 people to sign up for the reptilian Crass level.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the beginning one?
That's the first. That's the biggest one. That's the $100 one.
So wait, so you got to get 2 people to
You
sign
gotta
up.
get 2 people to spend $100 each on this Patreon.
Yeah. And
She's not going to do something special for free.
yeah, what do you?
And you know what the special thing is she's going to do?
What?
Do a good episode of this podcast. We're like, hey, if you guys pay
We'll
us $500,
actually do a good episode.
We'll actually do a good episode for once.
Yeah.
So if you like what you see, go head over to patreon.com/workingcrasspod. We got a lot more of it over there. All right, back to the episode. All right, so I thought this one was interesting. Let's wrap it up with something even more controversial than anything else we've talked about so far.
Oh, God.
Texas family of Taekwondo black belts save woman from being raped, pin down suspect. This is a happy story. This isn't a bad story. It's just the word raped makes us,
This is like a Pixar story, Kung Fu Family.
There's no Pixar movie where a family saves someone from being raped. You're right, Kung Fu Family sounds like a Pixar movie, but there's no rape victims in Pixar films. And there should be.
I know Kung Fu and Taekwondo are 2 different martial arts. But Kung Fu Family just has a better ring to it than
Kung Fu Family.
Taekwondo Family.
An entire family of Taekwondo black belts saved a woman from being sexually assaulted in Texas after hearing her terrified screams for help and quickly pinning the suspect down. The An family sprung into action after hearing the victim's unsettling shrieks from inside a mobile phone store next to their martial arts studio, Young In Taekwondo in Cypress, on Tuesday afternoon. Where's Cypress, Texas? Is that close to where we live ever?
Maybe.
know.
Probably. I don't know.
Grandmaster Han An, an 8th degree black belt and South Korean military vet, quickly sprinted outside, trailed closely by his wife and their 3 kids. How fucking awesome would this be I'm not going to say how awesome would it be to have a rape attempted on you and then be saved, but the saving part, how awesome would it be to see this fucking awesome family of Taekwondo expertly go attack your attacker.
He roundhouse
Kia!
Yeah, he roundhouse kicked the rapist and then crushed a fly with his fingers. He grabbed a fly out of midair and crushed it.
And they go, Rui CK, you next.
And then he took that fly and he shoved it up the rapist's penis hole.
Oh my God.
That was very violent.
I know.
But that's
Jesus.
what a Taekwondo family of black belts would have to do. Sometimes you just gotta, fight and be aggressive when it comes to stopping a rapist.
This is like the Asian Incredibles. It really is like a Pixar movie. You're right.
I told you. Pixar's gonna jump on this. I just have a feeling.
They are what? They're Korean.
Yeah, he was
South
in
Korean.
the South Korean military too. I mean
Damn.
This guy's killed people.
Oh yeah, definitely. With my bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
They found the suspect, identified by cops as 19-year-old Alex Robinson. Jesus Christ! If you're 19, don't be out there raping. Come on. You have your whole life ahead of you.
Do you think he knows the Kill Bill, the death punch?
Yeah. The 5-finger death punch.
Yeah. You think he knows that?
For sure. You think he knows that? For sure he does.
Yeah.
You think he has a Hattori Hanzo sword?
No, because that's not. I don't think he used.
Yeah, I know.
Samurai swords in Taekwondo.
No, definitely not. But he might just have one.
Yeah, he might.
It took moments.
You think he did the 5-finger death punch on the rapist?
No, because the guy didn't die.
You think he thought about it?
No. It says right here.
You're telling me in a family of 5, not one of them thought about doing a 5-finger death punch on a rapist?
No. Taekwondo, Lauren, is not about killing the person. It's about restraining them and restoring peace and harmony in the 4 nations. It says he just kept him in the corner. He just kept pushing down, automatic self-defense, automatic Taekwondo style, his son said. He just pushed him in corner. Keep him in corner. You wouldn't really expect it in an everyday situation, but when the time comes, it's very valuable, he added of the family's martial arts training. His wife, Hong, and their daughter, Hannah, quickly rushed the victim next door to the safety of their Taekwondo studio until cops descended on the scene, making sure that she's okay because she needed that after that experience, after that situation that happened out of nowhere. Hannah told the outlet. This was the 19-year-old man who attempted to sexually assault a woman.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Let's scroll past that.
Dude, if you're 19, you have your whole life ahead of you. Don't go out there trying to fucking rape people.
Yeah.
Don't be raping out there. If you're listening to this podcast, you're 19 years old, hey, come on. Don't be out there raping.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What the fuck?
Get it together. Get your act together.
I just wanted to throw this story in after the Louis C.K. thing to be like, we're not like pro-rape. We don't like rape.
No, we're very anti-rape. We're very pro-Taekwondo families.
Pro-Taekwondo families, pro-masturbating with permission.
Yeah.
I'm okay with masturbating with permission.
Yeah.
Where was that affirmative yeah when I was talking about it earlier? When I said, hey, I'm okay if Louis jerks off in front of women if he has permission and he got permission. And you go,
I went, yay, 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 yay.
Someone call the cops. I'm married to a psycho.
Well, I'm sorry.
You made me sound crazy.
I'm sorry.
You do this on this podcast a lot where I say something and I'm like, back me up on this. And you go, I can't.
I'm sorry.
Look.
I really did not think I was doing that. I think you read way more into my reactions than I do.
No, the viewer of the podcast can determine what your reaction. They'll see what I saw. Where I start going off on the Louis C.K. thing, I go, he's innocent, and you just sat there in silence, staring at me like I said that I'm pro-rape.
Well, I didn't know that you were pro-Taekwondo family then.
I'm pro-Taekwondo family. I'm anti-rape. And for all of those crazy people who are like, we live in a rape culture, I think everyone I've ever met is anti-rape. Who's the pro-rape people out there? Even rapists are like publicly go, I'm against rape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Thank you. I was worried there for a second. It took you a little while to think about the fact that you wanted to give me affirmation on that one.
Well, then I started overanalyzing myself. I'm like, is my yeah robust enough? Maybe I need a follow-up response. Do I project it or do I say it with the same tone as before? How do I convey that I'm on board without sounding contrived? It was a lot going through my mind at once. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're forgiven. All right. Well, I say we wrap it up here, and we always wrap it up the same way every week, and that is saying what we learned. And Lauren, what did you learn this week?
I learned that instead of rape,
I learned that you literally went. I learned. This is what it sounded like. Stop your laughing. You go. I learned that. All right, what'd you learn?
Yeah. Gosh, now you throw off my train of thought. Okay, here's what I was going to say. And instead of rape culture, what this world really needs is Taekwondo culture. That's what we all need to learn and bring into our lives.
Yeah.
To have, as you said, equality amongst the elements.
Absolutely. I agree. I didn't say equality amongst the elements. I said harmony and peace amongst the elements.
I meant harmony. I said equality, but I meant harmony.
Well, Lauren's shutting down on this podcast.
It's been a long day.
I think we stretched Lauren to her limits.
We did. We did.
And maybe we should go watch that debate again, and I'll stretch her even further.
You're a loser. You're the sucker.
You're the
I'm gonna suck it all night.
Look, guys, I learned. You know what I learned? I learned that fucking and sucking your kids. That's shit. That shit is not. It's cultural. Y'all weird as fuck sexualizing it. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and you're funny looking too.
Listen, our mamas was jerking off in front of comedians. Our grandmamas was jerking off in front of comedians, and y'all weird and anti-black. Just say that, and funny looking too. Oh, man. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. We love you very much, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.